are going through. And so with no further ado, I introduce to you all the next mayor of the city of Yonkers, Pineda-Isaac.
Thank you, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here to stand alongside Tatika Parker, who will be the next councilwoman in District 1. To stand next to Christopher Johnson, who will be back in the legislature representing county government in District 16. Because government is not about one person. It is about all of us. And today, it is about representation. That's what today is about. It is about a government that truly reflects the people that live here, that truly reflects all of us, right? It's about understanding and recognizing where we are today, where we're going, and making sure that we put people in positions that understand what it's like, that understand our experiences, understand what it's like to live in municipal housing, understand what it's like the sacrifice that immigrant families go through each and every day, understanding what it's like to struggle to find housing, understand what it's like, how important it is to have a quality education. Since 1872, Yonkers has been represented by the same people from the same families with the same last names.
Ready to win. Fatality.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Sunday. I'm coming in a little late. Was not going to come on at all, but I wanted to discuss this rally today that took place in front of City Hall. What do you folks think about it? It's a very strange thing, right? It's very strange. A lot of people are saying that, they don't want to see Mayor Spano in office. They don't want to vote for Spano. No more years. But then at the same time, they're also saying that they don't want to see Corazon Pineda-Isaac. They're not sure about Corazon Pineda-Isaac because they feel that she was a part of the Spanos, I guess. She, was a part of what the Spanos represented or what this administration represented. And so many are questioning her motives, right? Wondering why is she now going after the Spanos? Is it because she wants to be mayor? And so these are questions that I, want to speak to Corazon Pineda-Isaac about. What I say is this: the primaries here in Yonkers, the Democratic primary, for many years now, many elections now, have been what determined the outcomes of elections, right? There have been many instances where there was no Republican challenger or a very weak one, or one that we know was just put there simply just to be there, right? But here we have this situation where people are not wanting Spano, but they're not sure about Corazon. But again, primaries are many times where the elections are decided. Yes, whoever wins the primary in June, the Democratic primary, will be going up against Moranti. But the same could be said for Anthony Moranti. Although some people say, no, not necessarily, but no, yes. And I'm not trying to get Anthony Moranti, the councilman out of the 6th district, who's also running for mayor as a Republican, but the accountant, the guy that's, supposed to be the numbers guy, right? That's what he does. He's got the tax help on his plate. Should have been seeing a lot of things that I see, that others have seen, that we wonder why have not been questioned. And so then that kind of draws a little bit of suspicion and maybe doubt also with Anthony Moranti. So we as the people, the voters here in the city of Yonkers who are seeking change, who are seeking for, a different direction for the city to head, have to decide, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so in order to help you decide, specifically you Democrats in the primaries, I'm hoping to get the councilwoman Corazon Pineda-Isaac on Basement Politics, right? And so, you know me, I'm going to ask questions that I know you guys want to know. And so I'm seeing if I can set that up. So we'll see. I'll let you know by next week. Hopefully that be the case. And we'll get her on and we'll, see what she has to say. We want to know, right? And I get what you guys are saying, and I totally agree. So I was there today to cover it because that's what we do here in Basement Politics. I wanted to just bring this to the people. I think it's, only right. I'm not, against Corazon. I'm not saying I'm for Corazon. I'm just saying that we need to do the right thing. We need to get all the information. And when it's time to vote, that's when we need to make that decision. Many people are still unsure of what's going to happen. Some people are still just, not even confident that anyone can be Spano, and they're just feeling like, why bother? But no, you have to bother. You have to make the effort, and that attitude can be contagious, right? And that could be detrimental to, any change that people are seeking. So we have to get out. We have to make the effort, and we have to come out and vote this June, especially you Democrats. And then in November, we all have to come out to vote. So, of course, here on Basement Politics, we'll continue to bring you the information, bring you any updates, and remind you to vote, vote, vote. So, folks, what did you think about Corazon's speech today? You think she did a good job? She called on, an end to the nepotism. She called on, an end to the corruption. You see the signs back behind her. Nepotism, corruption, They always write any name. They can always write any name they would like on a ballot. I say as long as Spano is outed, it's a start. Yeah, that is true in the general election. Can they do that also in the primary? You can do a write-in candidate. Folks, you can write in. You have to put in my name as Alfredo Vasquez, all right? Alfredo is my full name. But no, all jokes aside, you can, and I'm actually being serious, you can write in names. So listen, you're right. Maybe we can do that. Margaret Coleman is the only candidate running who is independent of Mayor Spano. Where was Margaret Coleman at today? And I know that this rally was I guess put together, sponsored by Corazon, Pineda-Isaac, Christopher Johnson, county legislators running for re-election in District 16, Community Voices Heard, and also the Working Families Party. But I thought it was important for everyone to show up, right? And not necessarily make it about a Corazon rally or support for Corazon, because some people, didn't want to necessarily do that. But I think that a lot of people want the nepotism and corruption to end. They have an issue with that. They see a lot what's going on. So I think that more people should have come out. And this is the issue, right? That's sometimes I have, with folks, like we have to put the effort in. We have to come out. We can't be picky about how we wanted to do it. We can't say, well, I want it this way, or I want it done that way. Can it be on a Saturday? Can it be in the morning? We have to change, we have to get up, we have to come out, and we have to, rally. It doesn't matter what day, it doesn't matter what time. Otherwise, we can't complain, right? We don't get the luxury of doing it the way we want. So here was an opportunity to come out if you were against corruption and nepotism, against change, and cry to the, as loud as you can, scream, I should not cry, I should say scream as loud as you could, saying this, right? You didn't have to necessarily say we support Corazon, vote for Corazon, but you could have been yelling and corruption and nepotism or whatever else you wanted to be yelling there. And so, everyone should have came out. And I was talking to some individual, they said, I'm not sure I'm going to go. I don't know if I, support, but you do support change, right? You do support, an end to what we see made the corruption that we see here in the city of Yonkers, right? That many of us, right? So we all should have been out there for that very reason alone, right? That's just what I believe. Margaret Coleman, I should have been out there also. I mean, I guess, she could have joined in on it. I guess unless this was a Corazon rally, which I didn't necessarily take it like that. I figured I look at it as Corazon, Chris Johnson, Shatika Parker, I forgot Shatika Parker also was involved. We're coming out to speak out and rally against the corruption or nepotism, but not necessarily to say, hey, it's all about me, right? And I guess, people could see it that way, but, the message, what I'm hearing is end corruption, end the nepotism. As Corazon said, the same families have been holding on to power for so long now. So it's been their policies that have been impacting the city majority for a long time now. And I played the video the other day, the documentary yesterday, Brick by Brick. In that video, you can actually see the Inspector General, the current Inspector General's mom, and I'm just talking about the families that have been involved for very long. Leah McLaughlin, the Inspector General's mom, was in that video, and she was one of the individuals that was speaking, fighting to keep the schools and housing segregated, to keep from building any affordable housing or low-income housing on the east side. She was, I think, the head of this organization called the Save Yonkers Federation, which is still active. And somebody said, well, maybe they just never dissolved it, but you still have to, still file the IRS document. You still have to, renew it, everything. So there's still an active effort in order to keep it active, that if it was, I don't know, if you didn't want to do anything with it no more, if it was no good anymore, why not just let it dissolve? But the point I'm saying is that this is his mom, the one that's tasked, that has been asked to investigate the nepotism claims that came out in the New York Post and Low HUD newspapers not that long ago. And he said he's not going to because of, it's all silly season or political silly season accusations, right? His mom, was, you could kind of consider her racist. She was anti desegregation or anti-integration. She was championing and fighting hard. Her group caused and of course, with the council members who opposed the Judge Sand's ruling, cost the city a lot of money, right? And it wasn't until they either were going to have to, go along with the ruling, or people were going to start getting laid off from the city jobs, that then they said, okay, well, we got to go ahead and adhere to the ruling, although they dragged their feet for many years after. And really, honestly, they built the 200, but that was it, right? And most of the new developments of low income or affordable were still kept to the west side. And even now, they're still, right? They talk about all these affordable housing units that they're adding to the city, but they're all on the west side, right? So, but anyway, I don't want to get too crazy into that, but a lot of these families are still involved, right? And that's Liam McLaughlin's mom, who's the inspector general, who's supposed to investigate this stuff, and it's not going to happen. This family's have been, so, she's got a point with that, and so, I just wanted to put that out there and see what you guys think about it. Hopefully other candidates will see how important it is to go on your show and speak up about who they really are, make it clear and concise in their intentions with asking for our vote. The people that are hiding shit, they're not going to come on my show. You already know that. Sinead Williams will never come on my show because I'm going to ask about Jesus, her new beau. Is it beau? Her new boyfriend, the guy that's starting the SIG film school, that has gotten a lot of grant money and city funding, is working closely with the city, getting a lot of support. She's volunteering all her time there. And on Tuesday, she will be having her birthday bash event there. So can you thank the city? Can you thank the taxpayers, Sinead? We paid for this event, right? We paid for the event space so you can have it all ready. She didn't go to work just to make sure she had it all ready for her birthday bash. Is that who you want to represent you? Now, that's political silliness, right? I mean, what kind of maturity is that? And then when I come and ask you about it, because listen, hey, you know why I was there? I was there because you were there. You were there doing something, maybe you shouldn't be doing. And so I was asking you about it. So rather than be rude, right, and dismissive and snobbish and act like you're so much more high and mighty and smarter than me, because you're really not, Sinead. I'll just tell you that to your face. You're really not, right? If you were so smart, you would have just said, you would have shut me down, but you couldn't. You would have said, Freddie, this is what I'm doing here. We're doing this program for kids in the community. We want to help the violence among the young people. We want to try to get them out of gang activity, away from weapons like guns, right? And get them involved into something positive, something that can lead them to a life of success as adults. And we plan on opening on this day. We plan on targeting kids this manner, and we would love for you to, showcase it and maybe spread the word. And, maybe if you have any kids that might be interested, right? That would have been the way to handle it. But she did it. She told me when it's for me to know whenever I find out or whenever it's ready. But then she went and got Mr. Ruros to do damage control, right? So come on. So why would you want to vote for someone like that? The people in District 16, I mean, that's a lot. Right there. It says a lot. She's very immature. She's very selfish. She's very into herself. She's arrogant. She's full of it. She's very much full of it. And she's just playing the game. She wants to look, to play the part of this councilwoman. Now I'm a county legislator. Look at me, and I came all the way from Jamaica, and I didn't know I was black until, I don't know if I still don't realize it, right? So, I mean, that's all I'm saying. She hasn't done anything for the people here in the city of Yonkers, right? A lot of her district is getting gentrified all the way. A lot of the people in her district are being pushed out, priced out. Most of them look like her. In fact, the largest group that's exiting the city of Yonkers due to the inability to find somewhere affordable to live are the black community, right? And that's you, Sinead Williams. Northwest Yonkers, mostly blacks, right? Right. She's the reason my organization is blacklisted. She's probably the reason why a lot of people are blacklisted, Shanae learned from the best. Well, she started out as a scheduler, as Christopher Johnson said then. That's who he was referring to when he said that after he left the position, the mayor appointed his scheduler, which was Shanae Williams. And then she's been there ever since. They've been pushing her along. They tried to get her up at the county as a county clerk. That didn't work out. Now they're running her against Chris Johnson. Divide and conquer. Look at you. You're going against your own. Rather than being together to help your people, you guys represent that area. District 16 and District 1 is largely African-American, or at least that's where most African-Americans in the city live. And you guys can't get together to do shit for your people. I'm just saying, like, that's stupid to me. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe I'm naive, but you make me mayor or whatever, you're going to see. This is what we have to do, right? For the people. Okay, let's go. Let's go through this Getty Square. Right, you homeless? What are we going to do with you? You can't be here every day, my man. I want to see you get help. Oh, my woman, I want to see you get help. You don't want to get help? Well, guess what? You can't sit here all day. You got these businesses here that need to do business, all right? I'm just saying. Okay, next, gun violence is going the street. Yo, my man, what are you doing hanging out? It's 11:30 in the morning. It's a Tuesday. You're about 20-some years old. What's got? What you got? You got plans? You're going to work later? You're going to school later? What's going on? You're just hanging out here with a blunt in your mouth. That's what I would be doing. No doubt. Let's get in there. Roll up your sleeves, get dirty. They don't want to do that. That's what real leadership is all about. You lead by example. You go out there in the community and you start doing the work, and everyone else will follow. That's how you lead, right? We'll tear down any other Black woman who gets recognition. Absolutely. That's what they do. And unfortunately, that's not just, isolated, to Shanae or just unique to Shanae. I'm going to just be honest. Like, I don't know what's up with us Hispanic and Blacks. Why we want to bring each other down instead of build? We like the only groups that don't like to build together. Like we want to show off in front of each other, right? We want to stun on each other, right? That don't make sense, yo. That's dumb. We don't get nowhere like that. You know what I mean? So, and you see that in the workplaces, yo. We got to stop that mentality, right? Stop letting people divide us for their benefit, right? Just because they throw you a few crumbs and, it's not worth it. It's really not. Your integrity. We'll say people have mental health issues and spread stories rear her minions. Well, that's what they do. I mean, that's a pattern. Obviously, they've said that about me. But check it out. I mean, let's go, life for life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all haven't achieved what I've achieved. For a guy that's mentally unstable, maybe you should try being mentally unstable. Maybe you won't need to be on the city's, or being a minion for whatever it is that you need. Right? Because that's how so many of them are. Like, you didn't earn that. You didn't earn that. So you can't take credit like that. Come on, now stop it. And nobody's jealous of that. Stop it. Right? So they love to do that to people. What she said about Chris was disgusting. What was that? I don't know what she said about Chris. She helped the gentrification of Yonkers. How the F could she be a good or even decent county legislator? Absolutely, because she doesn't realize who she is. She wants to be somebody she's not. She's got like race dysmorphia. You ever heard of body dysmorphia? She's got like race dysmorphia. I don't know. It wasn't until I went to Hastings that I realized I was Black. What does that mean? Like you had to go to Hastings or wherever you went to realize you were Black. You know what I'm saying? And you still, I'm not sure. You don't have to be white or sound white or talk white to be intelligent, to be successful, to fit in, right? You just have to have some sense, okay? You just have to be intelligent, and you have to, be a person of good moral character, have good integrity, That's it. Do the right thing. You're a councilwoman for the 1st district, and you're not doing the right thing over there. And so that's the problem, Nobody want to hate on you. It's just that's the issue. My vote will never go to her for that position. You got a Black woman that will not vote for a Black woman. Ain't that some issue? And I'm not blaming her. That's because she's never helped. Maddie, I'm sure you've reached out many times, like other people, and she's never responded. Right? She's doing what? Doing what? You went into that vote with the term extension, and you didn't know that Mike Breen wasn't there, and you made a mistake. Come on, yo. Really? You want us to believe that you made a mistake? And I guess, Shanae, if you did make that mistake, either way, it doesn't make you look good. Either you are purposely, messing things up, or you're just, I don't know. Some people have spend the whole day arguing that one, debating that. Amen to her, though. God sees all this. Yeah, God sees everything for everybody. you're from Jamaica, you're Jamaican. People are not colors. In Jamaica, they be trying to bleach their skin, I hear. But yeah, so, I just wanted to show this, you guys can see the rest of the video. Shatika Parker spoke. Christopher Johnson spoke. Christopher Johnson, again, was mentioning her when he was talking about the people who are appointed to positions, who are helped get elected, who are in various city jobs throughout the city, right, who are not representative of the makeup of the city, and it is changing, and not to say that we want to start changing it for the purpose of just making it look like the makeup, but obviously people have to qualify. Everyone should always be qualified, should go through the process the right way to get hired or to become elected, but we have to have a government that reflects the population here, right? In Yonkers, Hispanic 43%, whites is 46%, it's about 3% difference. Blacks are about 16%, maybe 14 to 16%, and then the rest is everything else. You know what I'm saying? The other, and so in our city government, you look at the city council, you have one Hispanic, one Latina, right? It should be more. It should be more. It should be, and Tasha Diaz is not Hispanic. Just by the way, she's not Hispanic. She's Black. You have 3 Black women, but the city is only about 16% Black. Right? Then you have Moranti, John, Breen, who are white. And so they're representing the white, just about right. But the Hispanics for so long still have not had the same or the proper representation, representation that has been really effective, I believe, And so that's why we have gotten the shortest end of the stick, even though we're such a large population. And it's time that changes, not because we want to take over, as when somebody put in an email, but because we want to have more influence so that we can bring more awareness to certain things that Hispanic communities and all the communities really need. But, obviously the Hispanic community, our schools are 63% Hispanic. There's a huge need. So who's fighting for that? Who? Is it Spanos that are fighting for that? Is it Mike Breen? Is it John Rubo, right? Is it Gora Song? Tasha Diaz is the chair of the education committee. Is she fighting to improve our schools, to bring more money for that? I know they're going to fight for the migrants, and we're definitely going to need more money for the schools now. But who, right? We don't really have a strong Hispanic, coalition or organization that really fights for Hispanic people. I mean, for the most part, the ones that exist are sellouts. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you guys, and I like you guys a lot. I know you like me too, right? I like you guys, right? I'm Hispanic, right? I'm just being honest. And so that's the problem, and just how I see it. But again, they don't work for us, even though they need our vote. No, they don't work for us. They, I don't want to say that they work for the white man, because I don't want to make this about color. But the guy that they work for is white, right? But it's really about class. It's about green. So they work for the richest guy around, and that's, you know what I mean? So, matter of fact, let's get to that. I want to show you this article real quick in the New York Post, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. This just came out. Anybody see this? Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano's brother run lobbying firm with Biz before City. 2 brothers of Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano run a lobbying firm with 23 clients that have had business before Westchester County City during the mayor's tenure, including with the agency that doles out tax breaks, and it's chaired by him, records show, and they're referring to the Industrial Development Agency, the YIDA. Empire Strategic Planning, which is the lobbying firm, was founded by Nick Spano, a former Republican state senator, and Mike's older brother, who was convicted of tax fraud crime back in 2012. John Spano, another brother, is on the executive team. 23 of the lobbying firm's 47 clients currently have or have had business before Yonkers government or its Industrial Development Agency, which is chaired by Mike Spano, right? And the president of the IDA is the former lobbyist of the firm, former lobbyist of the Empire Strategic Planning firm, Jim Kavanaugh, right? He's now the president and CEO of the IDA. He's also the husband of Wilson Kimball, the chair of the zoning board. And so if you don't understand what all that means, then, I get it. I get why you don't, you're not out there saying this is foul. This is not right, and they've positioned their pieces very well. And it's not a whole lot that you can do but vote people out. And so I get it. Maybe you're, not so happy with the candidates or whatever. But what is more important? You have to now make a decision. What is more important to you, right? And that's how you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want change bad enough to vote for someone that maybe you wouldn't normally vote for, but you know that that will bring change? Or will you do nothing and then look like a fool for complaining? Or will you vote for the same and then look like a fool for complaining? What will you do? I put the article up there. You folks can check it out on Freddie Bass. When we get better here Sunday night, just want to come on and just mention that real quick to you guys. Oh, and by the way, I just got a quick update. That's right, Maddie. Vote for change. That's right. The individual that showed up to my house, and let me make this very clear, because some people, I guess they just, I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'd rather be wrong, right, than be stupid, right? Or pretend to be stupid, or I don't know. But people, for some reason, and it's very few people, it's not a lot, are like having an issue with me for my encounter with that gentleman that came to my house. I mean, okay, I don't know why. They say, oh, well, you were baiting him, or you would. Let me just be clear. Let me tell you from the beginning. This man came to my home, specifically my house, the only house, that whole entire area. He knocked on my door. So why I was out there? Because he knocked on my door. If you don't want me to come see who you are, to investigate who is it that knocked on my door, to identify the person that knocked on my door, don't knock on my door. It's that simple. The guy knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone, so if it's Amazon, leave the package. Whoever, leave. If it's sometimes they solicit stuff, leave the whatever. Okay, that's what he did. I didn't know who he was till he got out the car after. But when I opened my door, I realized that he changed direction. He was heading to his car to get in, but then when he heard my door open, he changed direction. Like you could see him kind of, oh, no, I'm not going to go to my car. And then went in front of his car to the house that he had parked in front of, started knocking on that door, but at the same time hiding behind a bush. They have this privacy bush that separates that house and another. And I thought that was odd the way he was trying to, but he kept looking in my direction. So why is he looking in my direction? If you knocked on my door for a legitimate reason and you see me come out, why not come up to me and say, hey, how you doing, sir? I'm sorry, I just knocked on your door for this legitimate reason. No, that's not what he did. He continued looking my way while knocking on the other door. He's like this, but looking towards me right through the bushes. I could see him. So I said, let me go inside and see what he does. When I go back inside, that's when he then comes out and goes into his car and then takes off. But I was ready. I had my keys in my car and I just got in my car and I followed right up. So when he pulled over and just turned his blinkers on, he should have said, I'm sorry, I knocked on your door again. But he didn't. He stood there for a while, suspiciously. You're knocking on people's door. Of course someone's going to want to see what you're doing. So when he came out is when I recognized him from being some guy that I've seen with the mayor. And I've always wondered who he was because he just stands out. And so I'm finding out that the man is a convicted felon. That's right, a convicted felon. This is what I'm hearing from someone who I would imagine would know. So a convicted felon, convicted of assault, some kind of assault. So I'm not the convicted felon. I've never been arrested for assaulting anybody. So what was a convicted felon who knew who I was because he said my name, he knew who I was, coming to my door, knocking on it, leaving. He didn't knock long enough for me to even come out anyway, honestly, because when I first was alerted to him, my cameras picked him up. And so I'm like, who's this guy coming to my door? And I didn't really look at all the things. I just saw the alert. Then I hear my glass door open, few knocks, and then he walks off. He was coming to my home. When I looked in the cameras, I can see that he purposely targeted my home. He slowly crept up until he saw, there's the house I'm looking for, pulled over. So I don't know how you would handle it to the people that, or to the one or two people that said something. If a convicted felon came to your home, knocked on your door suspiciously, leaves, Wouldn't that concern you? Wouldn't you want to know who that was? See, maybe you're not the type to go and get in your car and go out there, but that's me. I'm that type. Whatever, I don't care. It is what it is. I'm that type. I'm going to see what's up. People have been known to knock on homes to see if they're there in order to rob the home. That has happened. I'm looking out for my neighbors. I can't do that. If the man was concerned with me videotaping him, then he should have told me why he knocked on my door and been polite about it. But he was rude. He was aggressive and never gave a legitimate reason for knocking on my door. In fact, he denied it. And then he called me a clown. He called me by my name. He obviously knew who I was. And he even tried to hide the palm cards. So if he was there simply handing out palm cards, why would he hide them behind his back when I tried to show him on the camera? Why would the mayor and the mayor's campaign have a convicted felon going around and knocking on people's door? And how many convicted felons have now been hired by this administration? That is putting residents at risk. Some of them have reoffended while employed by the city, and they should have never been hired to begin with. These are answers that I think it's time I start go directly and ask the mayor myself. Whenever I see him, hey, mayor, I got to know this. A lot of these things are just strange, and I can't get any answer. Maybe I'll get the answers from the mayor himself. Why did a convicted felon, a man convicted for assaulting someone, come knock on my door, act aggressively towards me? He could have assaulted me. He has a history of it, right? I mean, he was convicted of a felony. How bad was this assault? Was my life in danger now by a city employee? Why are you sending convicted felons to people's homes? Why are you even hiring them in the first place? I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I know they're paid to follow and harass. I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. And I'm going to find out why. See, many times, in the past, people have just let it go. They don't open the door. They don't say nothing. Not Freddie. I'm going to say something. We're going to shine a light on it. We're going to find out why. Why? And to the person who said, well, what were you doing over there when you got your car impounded? I did not get my car impounded. I was not disrespectful to the officer. I gave a clear reason for why I was there. I didn't knock on a single person's door. And I am not a convicted felon. Big difference. Huge difference. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, I should say. It's Monday. Up that green, rock some ravine. Don't make it a murder scene.
I was raised in housing.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Continue to spread the podcast, spread the word, share. We're doing bigger and bigger things. Folks, I'm only going up from here. They've come at me every which way. Let's see what they got next to me. Hitting these things out the park. But I got it. I just got the stuff that they don't want you to know. Got it.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
By the way, next election cycle, I'm going to be having my consulting firm.
Freddie wins.
Called Freddie Wins Consulting.
Freddie wins.
Any candidates out there looking to get elected, gotta hire the best consulting firm out.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!
Fatality. Freddie wins.